Hey guys, what's up? This is White Boy for the win, and welcome back to Why Mega Evolve. Now, earlier last week we talked about Mega Flareon, and today we're going to be talking about Mega Jolteon. But before we get started, let me just give you guys a brief explanation of what this series is about. Now, every week we'll be picking two Pokemon that either need a Mega Evolution, deserve a Mega Evolution, or want a Mega Evolution for. Now, this is based off my opinion alone, and no one else's. Now, if you guys do not like my opinion, then please post your own opinions in the comment section down below about what would you keep, what would you change, and etc. And at the end of every video, I will be telling you guys which Pokemon we're going to be talking about the following day. So with that said, here is Mega Jolteon. Now, it's been a while since I've actually recorded a Why Mega Evolve video. Now for you guys, it pretty much been released on Tuesdays and Fridays because I've been both recording, and I actually wanted to get more recordings out, so it's been about a couple weeks since I've actually recorded a Why Mega Evolve video. But nonetheless, like I said, I am doing a eeveelution, not a special, but like I'm going to be doing all the eeveelutions because I know I've had a couple of people asking me when am I going to do like Jolteon for an example, or Flareon, Vaporeon, and so on and so forth. So I decided that I was just going to be doing all the eeveelutions, and I wanted to do them kind of like in region order on when they actually came out. So we are going to be finishing up the original three eeveelutions, which is the last one we are talking about is Jolteon. Now for the design that I'm using, I know it's not like the best mega design out there because honestly I don't even like this design, but it was the only picture I can find for a Mega Jolteon. So if you guys do not like this design, I do apologize. I mean, from the looks of it, it could become like electric dark, but since Jolteon doesn't get any dark stab type moves, from like the best of my knowledge, there's literally no point in actually giving it a typing that doesn't really have any moves for that typing, unless Game Freak does an event that he like gives, like for instance, if Jolteon was a dark type Pokemon for its Mega Evolution, it'll be an event where Jolteon gets access to Dark Pulse or something, like an example like that. But that's besides the point. So anyways, when I say this, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to agree with me that Jolteon is the second most fan favorite eeveelution out of the original three from Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon. Now obviously that's just from like my like how I think, because obviously I like Vaporeon out of the three, and then Jolteon, and then Flareon. Now I'm not saying Flareon is like a bad Pokemon or whatever. I already explained that in my Why Mega Evolve video for Flareon. I'm just saying that it's kind of bad to use in the storyline, because that's what I'm kind of like basing off my favoritism with these original three, as well as being useful and competitive. But nonetheless, Jolteon when used in competitive is such an amazing Pokemon. It does put in the work. I mean, you can go either Choice Specs, Life Orb, Leftovers, Focus Sash. There's a lot of good items you can actually put on Jolteon, and it just does the work. Now most of the time all you pretty much run is like a Timid Nature, Max Speed, Max Special Attack, and a Life Orb, because that's what I've seen on a lot of Jolteons whenever I face them. But nonetheless, as you can tell from what I've done to its stats, I did increase everything but left its physical attack alone. So with that all said, let's just get right into it. So for its physical attack, like I said, I left it alone as base 65, because honestly, who's going to use a physical Jolteon unless you use it in like the storyline when you first get like an Eevee. Like for example in Fire Emblem 3, when you get Eevee, you evolve it into Jolteon. It only knows like Quick Attack, Sand Attack, Tackle, and a couple other moves, and Jolteon doesn't really get access to that many good physical type attacks that you're going to be. Well, let me rephrase that. Jolteon isn't a physical attacker, and the only time you're going to be using physical type moves is when you're using it in the storyline until you get like access to Shockwave, Thunderbolt, Thunder, so on and so forth. So there's honestly no reason to increase its physical attack, because like I said, Jolteon is not a physical attacker, nor will it ever be, unless you're one of those people who like puts a choice band on a Jolteon with like Double Kick, Thunder Fang, Quick Attack, and just like one more other move that's physical. I mean, I think it's stupid when people do that, but it's Pokemon for you. But I just left its physical attack alone. Now for its special attack, I increased it from base 110 to base 140. Now with base 140 special attack, honestly Jolteon is just going to be doing nothing but the work, because already as just a regular Jolteon, it just does a lot of work with just the Life Orb or the Choice Specs, because it's so fast, you know you're going to be getting hits off for days. So with base 140 special attack, it's just going to be doing nothing but the work, because Jolteon does get access to quite a other different typing moves other than like its original electric electric typing like Signal Beam, which is bug type, takes care of psychic types and dark types. Gets access to Shadow Ball that take care of ghost types. It just gets access to a couple of good coverage moves that you would probably normally wouldn't use on a regular Jolteon, or not a regular Jolteon. That it just gets access to a really good variety of moves to actually cover a lot of weaknesses you might have on your team. So that's what I really like about the eeveelutions, that they all get access to Shadow Ball and Signal Beam, because Signal Beam and Shadow Ball are probably my favorite moves, coverage moves to put on the eeveelutions. So like I was saying, with base 140 special attack, it's just going to be doing a lot of damage. Now for its defenses, obviously Jolteon is a glass cannon. Now if you don't know what glass cannon means, let me explain. A glass cannon means that its defenses are pretty much complete trash. Like for instance, its physical defense before Mega Evolving is base 60. And there's literally no way that Jolteon is going to be able to live a hit whatsoever coming from pretty much any type of Pokemon, as long as it's resisted, or it's going to be able to take resisted moves, but it's just not going to be able to take it all that well. I mean, heck, a Bullet Punch from, like, for instance, a Technician Scizor is still going to be doing probably a clean like 35 to 50%. So that just shows you how frail Jolteon is. But what I wanted to do for Jolteon as well is increase its defenses to base 90. Even though base 90 is a somewhat of a good defensive stat, I can actually see this thing being more viable while actually switching into to take a physical type attack. It's not going to be the best Pokemon, but I can actually see Jolteon maybe living one hit and just what's the word I'm looking for? Just revenge hit, if that makes sense. Now for its special defense, I increased it from base 95 to base 115. Obviously, its special defense is higher than its physical defense, so I wanted to increase it just a little bit to base 115. That way I know this will be able to live like an Earth Power, because with base 115 special defense and probably without any special defensive EVs invested, it's going to be able to live like maybe at least one Earth Power, just depending who it's coming from. I mean, if you go like use an Earth Power coming from like a Heater, I don't see like Jolteon living an Earth Power even with base 115 special defense, but that's just how I see it. But with base 115 special defense, I can see this thing living a couple Earth Powers, maybe one, but I don't see it living two, like at most. Now for its speed, I increased it from base 130 to base 150. Obviously Jolteon, out of all the eeveelutions, is the fastest eeveelution, so with base 150 speed, obviously this thing is just going to be fast as fuck, and you know you're going to outspeed majority of the time, as long as it doesn't get bumped up to OU, and Talonflame pretty much just destroys your life. Because I hate that Pokemon with a passion, you guys already know that. But base 150 speed, like I said, even with base 130 speed as a regular Jolteon, it's going to be outspeeding majority of your opponent's team and dealing some damage. So with base 150, it's just going to be outspeeding a lot of things. Now as a regular Jolteon, its base stats at 525, and with the Mega Evolution, it's going to be at 625. Now if you guys did or did not know, all the eeveelutions have the same base stats, so it's going to be nothing new for like the next couple of Mega Evolve videos. Now for its ability, I wanted to give it a new ability, and I said this in pretty much both my Mega Flareon and my Mega Vaporeon video, that I wanted all the eeveelutions to have something in common. So I wanted to give them an ability that kind of is kind of common with each other. Now, like how Sylveon has Pixelate, which turns normal type moves into fairy type moves, I did that for pretty much all the eeveelutions, but for Jolteon, I gave it a new ability called Magnetic, which pretty much turns normal type moves into electric type moves. And the reason why I've done that was because obviously for number one, all the eeveelutions gets access to Hyper Voice, and most of the eeveelutions are special attackers, with like an exception for like Flareon, Leafeon, and Umbreon. Other than that, all of them are pretty much special attackers. But they all get access to Hyper Voice, and with getting access to Hyper Voice and having an ability like Magnetic, it's going to be having the exact same ability as Pixelate, Refrigerate. It pretty much boosts, or it turns normal type moves into the corresponding type. So for instance, Jolteon is electric, so Magnetic's going to turn normal type moves into an electric type moves. And when you use like moves like Hyper Voice or Takedown or something like that, those moves are going to be boosted by 33% or 1.5 if I'm not, or 1.3 if I'm not mistaken. So it's kind of like having a life orb added onto those type of moves. moves. So I really like having this idea for all the evolutions to have something in common as well. For all of them, just having a different ability but having like the same effect, if that makes sense. So that's why I've given it the magnetic ability, and for its typing I just left it alone as electric. There's honestly no reason for me to add on another typing. I know a lot of people are probably going to say, oh, you should have added the dark type characteristics to Mega Jolteon, but you gotta have to think. Jolteon doesn't get access to any dark type moves, and I doubt that if we do get like Mega Evolution for Jolteon, I doubt that Game Freak's going to be making an event for Jolteon specifically to give it a dark type move like Dark Pulse or Crunch like that. So just leaving it as an electric type is actually pretty fitting. So with that, there is Mega Jolteon. So anyways guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, and also don't forget to comment and subscribe. Now on Friday we are going to be jumping down to Johto, which was when the next batch of eeveelutions were pretty much announced and released, and the one we are going to be talking about first is Espeon. So yes, on Friday we are going to be talking about Mega Espeon. So like I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, also don't forget to comment and subscribe. So this is White Boy for the win, and I'll catch you guys later.